Did you hear? Yeah, girl, what?
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Girl, Did You Hear? I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jessica.
Today, we are going to talk about some workplace etiquette. Because Jessica and I, and I'm sure like many of you guys, everyone has workplace horror stories about community kitchens, just general office drama. We worked together for so long.
It was where we really built a lot of our relationship.
It is. It's where it all started, actually.
Yeah.
We had some interesting things go on there. But recently you were telling me a funny story at your work.
So there is a workplace refrigerator.
Yeah, like a community kitchen.
In the common area where everybody hangs out and has lunch. So in that refrigerator, everybody puts like their lunch boxes, their drinks, everything that they bring in from the outside or have left over from lunch.
Right.
So it's kind of everybody's fridge.
Yeah.
So in that fridge, I thought I was being generous and only occupying a tiny pocket.
Like one little
door
like,
pocket.
section?
Yeah.
Oh, on the
no,
door.
I was a door pocket's
Okay.
worth. I crammed my leftover tubs and everything.
Oh.
In just a little door pocket on that fridge to try and just contain, this is like Jessica's stuff.
Right.
Okay. So I had put everything in that pocket. And over time, I had noticed like energy drinks had gone missing. No big deal. There had been times when I had needed one and I had noticed there's one in the fridge.
Right. You're like,
I would take it. But the next morning, I would have like a replacement in there.
That's very nice.
Because that's my moral compass, right?
Right.
Or leave a little note or something, but I'll get into that. So
this is so funny.
I have this jar of tea that I really enjoy. It's got rinds of like orange and honey and just a bunch. It's just like this.
It's a specialty thing, though.
It's
You
like-
have
yeah.
to get it from the Asian supermarket.
Yeah,
You can say that. It's fine.
It's a weird item. It comes out looking like jam, and then you just add it to hot water, and it turns into a tea. I really enjoy it, especially around the wintertime or when you're trying to warm up.
Right.
So I had bought a little jar of this, and I had gone into the refrigerator to get some after I had opened it initially, and it was empty.
Completely empty?
Within a month's worth of putting it in the fridge. So I put it in the fridge.
It was full when you put it in.
Right.
'Kay.
I took a cup or two.
How much did you have to like scoop?
So it
for,
took like
per cup.
2 scoops out of it, like 2 healthy tablespoons.
And how big is the jar? Like for reference, like is it like a little 8-ounce jar?
I would say
or-
it's about like an 18 or a 24-ounce jar. So it's
Okay.
a fairly big jar.
All right.
Right? Because you're taking like 3 to 4 ounces of this stuff.
Okay.
I do, at least, because I like it.
Is it very like potent, the flavor of it, or
It can be. I mean, and that's where you kind of choose your own adventure with it. You put as
choose
much.
your own adventure?
You put
I love
in
you.
as much or as little as you want
Right.
to make it taste the way that you want.
Okay.
I mean, it's got honey in it, so it's sweet. It's like a very citrusy. It's like a citrus honey tea.
Right. Okay.
Would be like the best way to describe it. Anyway, it comes in a jar. So I take 2 scoops, like 2 cups worth out of it, put it in the fridge for a couple weeks, forget about it. I come back to it and it's empty.
Empty.
So in 3 weeks' time, someone else with a very special taste decided
have a very distinct palate for this.
decided
type of
to
tea-
enjoy my tea as well. And there was like no note, no, hey, this is delicious. Here's like $5 taped to the jar. That I know is expecting a lot, but like nothing.
That's
No.
messed up, though.
So I dealt with that, and then I had food in the freezer portion of this fridge, like
Right.
little lunches and stuff like that, you know.
Leftovers or whatever from the
Yeah.
night before.
Or like those lonely cat lady meals is what we used
Oh,
to
okay,
call
yeah, yeah.
them. The
Like
the
little
lean cuisine,
freezer dinners or whatever. Yeah. That's so cute. Those are perfect, like little lunch snacks, though.
They
honestly.
are. They're
They really
perfect
are.
for lunch because they like give you all the parameters so you can just like eat it and go.
Yes.
Like you don't have to think about
Nope. Just pop it in.
the
nuke
trash routine.
it. All of our food's already screwed up anyways, so who cares at this point?
I mean, it is convenience. It
It
really is. So I had a few of those up there, and I had a Costco chicken bake. I was really excited.
Ooh.
So they started selling them in the freezer section, so you could take them
Yes.
in individually and make them on your own.
That's
so
awesome.
I had one of those that I was really looking forward to, and I went to eat it one day for lunch, and it went missing. It wasn't there. It wasn't in the freezer.
Someone took your chicken.
Someone took my chicken bake. I was so
But like, why would someone do that? Like, okay, you're the person. Okay, imagine you're the random guy or whoever going into the community area. You open the fridge and the freezer and you see this in there. You know that it's not yours. Like,
right.
you know that you didn't put it there for
Right.
later. No one said to you, like, hey, John, I left a chicken bake for you in the freezer. Like, there was none of that. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Prior to this
Right.
person seeing your food in there.
I mean, and I
So
know
what in their brain is like, I'm going to take this and eat it.
right.
Like, did you smell it? Like, that it was cooked in there, like within the building?
No, and I mean, and that's a good point. I never
they take
noticed
it?
it.
Well, and
I
like
mean-
take it back home for later?
or they probably made it when I wasn't there because my
Right.
shift is only through like the good half of the day.
True.
Sales is open till way late at
Yeah,
night.
that's
so
true.
there's plenty of opportunity. And Saturdays, man, there's plenty of opportunity for it to go disappearing.
I'm just going to say something real quick. I bet it was someone in the sales department.
Well, that's my first suspicion because I work in the sales department and that's the community fridge.
Okay.
But like, I'm not pointing any fingers. Everybody has access to this fridge because
True.
I know times when Saturday lunch has extras, that goes into this fridge as well. So I
Right.
know people will go in there and grab that food because everybody kind of has a take of that, right? Any of those leftovers. I
Right.
get that. But like specialty stuff, weird stuff that
No.
wasn't catered in on Saturday
Don't
is not
take-
yours.
Yes.
Like, that's so frustrating. Like, stealing my food is my biggest pet peeve. Like,
Why are people like that?
I look forward to my food. I picked it.
I picked
brought
it.
in.
Right.
Like, I have
Like,
intentions
You
for
were,
this.
yes, like there are some meals, that you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to eat this tomorrow for lunch. Like sometimes you have those thoughts,
there's
right? Like,
times
oh,
when
I
I'm-
can't wait to take this for work tomorrow. It's gonna be so good, or whatever, right? Like sometimes you're just in that mood for that meal, and then you go to get it, and someone
And it's
takes it,
gone.
and it's not there, and
And
you're
it's
like,
gone.
what the hell? I would be so pissed. I
So-
would have like marched around and like, who took my chicken bake?
The chicken bake goes missing. So does my temper with it. I
I wonder if it was the same person
um
that took both things.
I would imagine if you have the ability to just take stuff out of the fridge, if that's already in you, then I mean, there's nothing stopping you from taking anything out of the
Right.
fridge, regardless of whose it is. I mean, I was victimized
They stole my chicken
by
bake.
this refrigerator bandit.
We need to figure out who it is. We need to set them up.
But see, that's too much time and too much effort. You know what I did?
It would
I
be funny.
I removed myself from the situation. I took myself and all of my chicken bakes out of the equation. I went in straight to Home Depot and bought myself a mini fridge. I did
You
not
did it that day though, which is freaking hilarious.
Yes, I went on lunch and bought a mini fridge for my office. I'm not giving this culprit the opportunity to strike me again. If you go into my office and take my food, come find me.
You will
please.
get hit
Like,
with a Nerf gun. Let
I'm
me
not
tell you
afraid
that.
to have a stern conversation about your integrity.
Right? That's hilarious. I remember when you messaged me. This happened just like a week ago.
Yeah, this was not. Yeah,
when you messaged me
Not
about
that long
both
ago.
of the incidents,
Mhm.
and then the day about the chicken bake, and you're like, you sent me a picture of the mini fridge in your office, and I was like, oh my god, that's great, dude.
that
Like,
escalated quickly.
it did
Yeah.
escalate quickly. But seriously though, like you shouldn't have to go spend $500 or $300 or however much it is for a mini fridge in your office when you you should be able to put your own food in the communal fridge and know that
that it's
So-
gonna be
yes,
there when I
that
get to
someone's
it,
not gonna freaking take it.
regardless of whether
Or
or
that
not I
you
eat it
shouldn't-
that same day.
Right, exactly. Or that you shouldn't have to freaking put your name on it like you're in elementary school all over again.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I used to do that in the fridge when we worked together. Used to write my
Same.
number all over everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and they used to call me the fridge police, because I would go in there and throw stuff out because that fridge was so small. We didn't have room or time
I
for
don't think I
people
ever
to be like hanging around with stuff in there.
Oh yeah, I was trying to think. I'm like, where the hell was the
It was
fridge?
in the office.
It was in
Mike's
upstairs.
office.
Yeah,
No, it was in Mike's
I was gonna
office.
say Boudreaux's office. Yeah, I would just store energy drinks in there mostly, or like cold pizza, or
But people would put their leftovers in there and
They
then would like leave it
for
to die. That was the
days.
other part about the community fridge and like workplace etiquette is like if you have something in there, get it out.
Yes,
Like
don't
let
leave
it
in
die.
there.
It smells so bad. Like my food was starting to come out smelling like the stankiness of the fridge. And I was like, this is gross. So now it's my problem that my food stinks.
Right? You have nobody else to blame
Nobody
but
else
yourself.
to blame but myself.
That's bullshit.
I mean, and all the places that I've worked, I've experienced this across the board. So
Yes,
it's
I
not
have
just
too.
this place. Like,
No, I have too.
I've had food gone missing. I've even had employees eat my food in front of me and tell me, well, I'm sorry you didn't get to it in time.
What?
I'm like, bro, it's 10:30 in the morning. Why are you eating my lunch?
Why do people think that it's okay? First of all,
I don't know.
Look
It was
how
a
I
long
just
time.
went like.
She just exploded.
Why do people think it's okay? First of all, to eat food that is not theirs at the workplace, like that shit is annoying to me.
Without asking.
Without asking.
Without asking.
That is annoying.
Right.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Do not touch food or drinks if they are not yours in the fridge, people. Come on.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's bullshit. It's messed up. It's not. It's just not right. It's not nice. It's not nice, guys.
It's not nice.
Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. We do
Because
appreciate.
that is nice.
That is nice. That is very nice behavior that we do like to see. You know what is interesting talking about the workplace? Not that long ago, I had put up this post on my Facebook page. It was like a little meme. I'm gonna read it to you. Let me pull it up real quick. I'll flash it in the up for you guys to see too. But it was a meme, and it says, "Never say that's not my job," in quotations. And then below it, it says, "That oozes arrogance and laziness. Chip in to help with what needs to be done, even if it's not your responsibility. Do what needs to be done or help someone find the solution, period." And then at the bottom, it says, "Even when no one's watching." And so when I saw that, I was like, period. I agree 100%. Sharing, because I tend to share things like that if I agree with it, because I'm like, yes, do more of this, people. Like, that's how I feel, right? People like it. I don't care. People don't. I really don't care, right? But like the way that I interpreted that was also, yes, within the workplace, but also like other areas of your life, right? Not just within the workplace, okay? I am one of those people at the workplace that will kind of go like above and beyond, right? And I kind of set the bar expectation for myself pretty high. And so a lot of times if I work with people that are not at the same level as me, it's difficult for me because I feel that they are slackers and they're not doers and they do the bare minimum, right? Because their expectations are lower for themselves or whatever. And those are typically the people in my experience that are not the ones that are going to go above and beyond or assist if you need extra help or whatever. Right. Also, I feel like that can expand to any area of your life and any type of relationship situation, right? But what was interesting to me is so many people commented on that post and they were going so many different directions. And it was actually really interesting. Let me see if I can pull up the comments real quick. If I can find that post while you chat about it for a second.
So my perspective is, you're right. That is not my job. I don't care. You could not. I'm the opposite side. I'm like, this is, unless.
And we're so different like that.
Unless you employ me, your name is on my check. Unless you ask me to do something, I'm not doing it. Like, so the employee fridge, for instance.
Right.
There's food in there and it's dying. It is not my job to clean out that employee fridge. So you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to clean out the fridge. Whose job is it to clean out the fridge? Nobody's going to take responsibility for that.
Of course not.
What do you do in that situation? Do you clean out the fridge?
I mean, yeah, I probably would. Eventually I would. Yeah. When it got to the point that was bothering me. Hold on. First of all, backtrack for a second. If I was someone that used the fridge like consistently, like I was always using it, putting my food in there and stuff like that, whatever, and it got to the point of like disgust that I couldn't deal with it anymore and nobody else was doing it, then yes, I would probably eventually.
But your food wasn't the problem. Like your food wasn't what caused it to stink. You would still go for and clean out the fridge.
I probably would. Yeah. And that's such like, that's like, I guess it could be a toxic trait or whatever.
No, or I mean, no, that's,
or I don't know. Like,
is it altruism? Like what?
I don't know. It's not like good or bad. It's just like a person's trait. Or
I mean, that's your threshold.
Right.
That's your threshold of dirty. Right. And I mean, I'm sure it's like the level of clean house. Same thing.
If I went into the fridge and like someone had something in there that like leaked everywhere, I would probably leave it. For like a full 24, 48 hours to see if that person cleaned
you would monitor it.
Yes. I would be like, I'm going to see if someone else if that person cleans their mess.
Right.
And if they didn't, then I would probably clean it. Or I would passive aggressively say something to them.
Fair. If you knew who it was.
If I knew who it was.
And then, or just leave passive aggressive notes on the fridge. Because you've seen those, right? Like that's one of the Facebook memes.
Yes.
Of like people leaving like passive aggressive notes on the fridge saying like, hey, stop eating my stuff.
Right.
Or like, stop cooking fish on lunch, Tina.
Yes.
Or.
And it's wild to me that like people have to do that in society. Like in communal
because
fridges.
there's people out there eating their food.
Yeah, like it's wild that you even have to do that. But there was so many perspectives on that post because I had a lot of people that are business owners that employ people that they said they tend to look for those types of qualities in someone that they employ. Like they tend to want someone like that is going to maybe do a little bit more than expected on their team, that has that go, that has that little extra drive or extra push or however they classify it, right? Because they're in their minds, that person's like a go-getter, a doer, like they're going to help lift everybody else up like in unison, right? Like it's a team, everyone's working together for this company or whatever for the goal. Like the goal is always to make fucking money, right? So let's all do that together. And if you have 3 people over here that are just like slugging it and everyone else over here is trying to like do the more, like where if they're just doing the bare minimum and everyone else is doing more, there's like, it's not balanced. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it creates in me, like when I see that happen in my experiences in workplace, when I see others get like better treatment or different treatment than me because of their performance versus my performance, that becomes an issue to me. Like at Subaru, for example, our boss would get mad or would get on our ass all the time if either I were slacking in some way, even though we have, 20 tickets over here that we still haven't even written up to get to the back and there's customers still coming in. And if we don't have a customer in front of us because Joe Schmo over here is taking their sweet ass time and not checking the next person in because they're doing one thing at a time versus we're doing 8 things at a time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That then becomes like the issue for me. And that is like, okay, well, why do I have to stop what I'm doing? Why can't that person stop what they're doing to go do it?
Why can't they be on my level?
Why is the expectation on me?
Right.
To go do it?
Because you're better.
But like
because he knows if here it is.
In those
because
situations,
he knows if he looks to you, you'll go get it done.
Exactly.
Versus Joe Schmo over here who's having a 30-minute non-essential conversation.
Exactly.
He knows he can't ask
funny.
Joe Schmo to do the thing because Joe Schmo's not going to do the thing.
No.
You're going to go do the thing.
Right. And then that becomes the expectation. So it's like us people who have that mindset of like, yeah, I'm going to go above and beyond. Like we kind of end up screwing ourselves in the long run because
you show your cards too fast.
It's a repeated behavior, first of all, that you do. And it is just something that is in me. I've always been that way in jobs and stuff. And then I always get irritated and pissed off at my coworkers that don't operate at the same level as me.
That's a hard realization.
And it is. And those, I mean, now that doesn't matter in, you know, our older years as much.
Yeah, I
because
have
we're so,
grown
you know,
out of that. Yeah.
We're grown, we're mature, we've learned, you know, a few things here
A
or there.
little.
No, but like definitely in my younger years, I would get more irritated with those types of people because again, like if I called out sick, it was a huge thing. But if that person called out sick, it was like
just another day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like that used to be another irritation of us, you know.
Because why are you holding me to this expectation when you're only holding this person to this expectation?
Right. So then it comes back on the employers, right? Like in like how are they, like they're kind of almost like creating that like hierarchy in itself. Not hierarchy, but in a way it kind of is, you know.
Structure.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's like, do the Joe Schmoes that are fucking lollygagging over here, do they have any awareness?
No.
Like, do they knowingly say, you know what, that's not my job. I'm just gonna sit here and have this BS conversation for the next 10 minutes and pretend that I'm busy doing something so I don't have to do something else.
Absolutely.
And are they consciously making that choice? Because while they're doing that, I'm over here wondering why the hell they haven't answered the phone or checked the next person when there's a line of 10 people standing there and I have a stack of 20 tickets on my desk and they have 5.
Do you ever wonder why we don't do it anymore?
Yeah, that's exactly why. That's exactly why.
That's exactly why.
But I say that because that's like the most recent place that I've
existed.
Worked.
Yeah. That you had like that coworker.
Yeah, that was where it affected me a lot more. I mean, all different aspects in the auto industry, it affected me because there's just so many different types of people in that industry in itself, different ages, different levels of people.
I mean, just different groups of people.
Obviously not everybody could work the exact same way, but I thought like people, in my opinion, took that post like way too like far. Like they took it way too personally. Some people did. And I was like, whoa, like I was just sharing a post, like, yeah, you know, like if you walk past a pile of freaking trash 7 times in the day, like, are you going to eventually pick it up or are you just going to let it sit there and wait for the other person to eventually pick it up, some other person to eventually pick it up? Those are the things, right? That like you think about.
Because it just begins to be like, what's the level? What's your threshold? Like, if I see a piece of trash by the door that I use to get into the building every single day and I walk by that piece of trash like 4 or 5 times and it's still there, on my next walk out, I'm going to pick it up and toss it in a trash can. Now, could I just leave it there and have it blow away in the next windstorm or have the landscaping guys pick it up in the next,
or
like,
hope the next person that walks out of the building
or have somebody else with that altruistic attitude pitch in and do it for me? Sure, I'm sure that piece of trash would have moved on eventually, but it's then like a level of when.
Right, and you're just then putting that expectation onto somebody else.
But here's the other side of that. So if you go into going in above and beyond, what are you doing it for? Are you doing it for you? Are you doing it for your kudos? Are you doing it for the recognition of, hey, look, I picked up that piece of trash by the door. I'm the one that's helping keep this place clean. I'm the one that's going above and beyond. I'm the one that does the thing.
Right.
Like, I am the one that has the special power of doing stuff that means I go above and beyond.
Right.
Like, why do you do it? Do you do it because it bothers you, or do you do it because for the recognition? Do you do it to hold power over that person that's not doing the thing? I mean, holding power over a person maybe is like a little too far, but I mean, like, why?
The power.
What's the reason? What's the reason?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would say probably a little bit of all of those things. I would say I'm doing it because I don't want to get bitched at by my boss for not doing it. So I'm just doing it to get him to shut up and move on to the next thing.
You're just trying to solve the problem.
Yep. Just get it done, whatever. Right. I deal with the irritation and I just thank myself that I'm not like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's, I do it because I guess I was raised to, when you do a job, you do it better than what you are asked of.
Right.
Because when it comes time to ask for a promotion or you're going take that next step for a job or
you
whatever,
have those kudos.
you have those kudos in your back pocket to be like, hey, yes, I can do this. And in my younger years, when I started navigating like the corporate world in the auto industry, I learned
super
that
fast
through that,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
through those actions, like because I was going above and beyond, I escalated myself in that career much faster than I would have had I not done that.
You
Right?
would have held the mentality of, "That's not
Exactly.
my job."
Like when the promotion became available, my boss asked me, not the other girl that's been working as long as me, because
she
was
just sat there.
exactly
Right.
So I do it because I want to better myself in whatever, I guess, career I'm in at that time or whatever. And it's just a trait that's freaking in me,
What a
I
great
guess.
answer, because I mean, it is the perfect answer. Really, is a blend, because there
It's-
is some selfishness to it.
yeah, I mean, there is for
some,
sure.
like economy to it.
Yeah, I'm
to
not
where
gonna
you're
deny
doing this
that.
for
Like, yeah.
everybody, and then
I am better than that person that only wrote 7 tickets that day. Yes.
right, because you are the one that can handle it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's gratifying in a sense to be able to brag. I guess maybe bragging rights. I don't know. Like
right.
maybe
That's
it's a little
fair.
ego.
That's fair.
Maybe
That's
it's a little
honest, man.
narcissistic.
No,
I don't
appreciate
know.
that.
Maybe it's a little bit of all of those things. But in a sense, it is like, yeah, you know what? It sucks and it pisses me off. But at the end of the day, like
I know that I can
do
handle
this,
that, and they could never.
Exactly. So that in a sense is like internally empowering.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
self-empowering
Yeah.
in a sense,
Yeah.
like but it's definitely led to a struggle in the
Yeah.
workplace for me. I only have a couple of food stories. I've only had food taken from me a couple times from previous workplaces, not at Subaru. And I was so like early 20s, like a little timid girl, didn't speak up at all back then. So I just kind of like
Just let it go.
just let it go. But it definitely was one of those things that was like, really? Like,
yeah,
come
I would
on.
know. I would never confront it unless it was blatant. Like if in
No.
front of me, like if I saw the dude eating my, if I saw the person, excuse me,
Yeah.
eating my chicken
Do
bake,
not assume.
I'm not going to. If I saw them eating my chicken bake in
Would
the
you have
lunchroom,
said something to
I
them?
would have. Yeah, I
What
mean,
would you have
I'm
said, do
not
you think?
scared.
I know,
was
you're
like,
pretty
is-
outspoken. So
I
how's
was
that
like,
chicken bake?
Is that good? They'd be like, yeah, it's great, and I'm like, you're welcome.
That'd be $7.50, bitch. You better give me your lunch money.
I'd be like, did you bring that in for yourself, or did you just find that in the freezer? Oh, you just found that in the freezer.
That's so funny.
That's great, because that was mine, motherfucker.
You bitch.
But I mean, it would. I don't know. It would be in the moment, but I would definitely confront them. I would have no problem saying something,
Right.
because, bro.
Now I wouldn't. I would have no problem saying something now. Yeah, I would have no issues. I would be nice about it. Probably a little snarky,
but I'm not
nice.
going to leave passive aggressive notes on the fridge. No, I'm going to escalate that situation and go buy my own mini fridge.
Right. That's very passive aggressive. That's hilarious.
But-
Speaking of doing things like, with no one watching or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of those interesting topics is like putting your shopping cart back.
Oh, I do that all the time.
You put yours back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know you do because we go shopping together and like one of us always is like loading the car and the other one takes the
Mhm.
thing. But
Teamwork.
yes, not that long ago there was something circling around about this TikTok mom. I just thought of this because we're talking about
Yeah,
this
it's
right
right
now.
in line.
And she was posting about how like she blatantly did not take her shopping cart back because
What was her reason?
because she didn't want to leave her kids in the car for that 3 seconds or 5 seconds or however long it was to go take the cart back. And I'm like, lady, first of all, there are ways to get this done with your children and still take it back.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
she just leaves it wherever.
I mean, as a childless woman myself, I can think of 3 other ways she could have done that
Yeah.
with a child. Now, granted, I don't have a child, so I don't know the exact situation. I don't know if it's
But-
like pouring rain or snow or hot or there's creepy people everywhere or
watch out for the creeps.
I don't know the exact situations because honestly, it would have to be something like there's 5 feet of snow and the cart return I can't see it because it's a whiteout.
Right. Or I can't like physically push the cart
or
through
something,
the snow.
or it's like
Through the
huge
snow.
rainstorm and there's like a big old lake between me and the cart return. I might just leave it. But for the most part, I'm going to do the little cart jockey some justice
And put it back in
and
its
put
little
it
thing.
in a place where it goes.
Put it in its home.
Yeah. Or if they don't have a cart return, I try my best to walk it back up to the store.
I do too. And I actually get irritated when they don't have a cart return. I'm
Same.
like, why?
Like what?
I will try to ditch the cart as I'm walking out of the store and try to carry my items if they don't have.
Same. So
a
since they
cart
started
return.
making us in Colorado make you take your own bags everywhere for grocery
Yes.
shopping, that's what I do. I try and like one trip carry everything. to a
So
car.
ridiculous. I can't believe that. But yeah, she got hammered all over social media. People were like, "Girl, you can still take your freaking cart back and do the right thing."
Right.
You know, do the right thing when no one's watching.
There's
you know,
parameters. I mean, like stores like Aldi,
yeah.
make you like put in a quarter.
What?
Yeah, they take. Well, okay. So here's you get your
You have to like rent it?
you get your quarter back when you put the cart back.
Oh, smart! Like the airport, freaking little luggage.
Yeah, just like the
thingies.
buggies there.
Yeah.
Same concept. So, but Aldi's a grocery store. I don't think we have any up here. I don't know if they have any in
They
Florida.
do. I have not been in one.
Take a quarter with you.
Good to know.
If you want a cart, take a quarter.
Good to know. That's interesting. I wonder if they did that out here, if that would make people or
But
give
that's
them more
that's
incentive.
the reason.
Yeah.
Is so that they get their carts back.
I wonder if it works for them. Obviously, it has to. I mean,
Hopefully.
you would think.
Otherwise, they're just making quarters at a time.
Yeah. I have younger kids.
Mhm.
Like when Jaden and Autumn were young.
You'd send them out in traffic with the cart to go put it back?
Yes,
Fair.
I would. I mean, after we done load the groceries, and I'm like, all right, take the cart back.
Yeah.
And one of them would go take it back.
And I wonder if as they're adults,
Like if they're going to do that.
do they still take the cart back?
We should ask. Autumn's upstairs. We'll ask her when we're done.
We should.
It's so funny. We're going to interrogate you. You're a mom now.
You have a child. Yeah.
She does have a child now. Little baby.
So proud of her.
Yeah, dude. I was like, this mom is ridiculous,
That's
bro.
wild. I mean, I understand extenuating circumstances,
There are.
but not consistently.
No. If I had young babies, and I have not lived life with a young baby, but I have plenty of grandbabies.
Right.
That I've babysat and like gone on adventures with,
right.
you know, to the stores and stuff like that. So like I understand how it is to like maneuver with a child.
Right.
I know that it can be a pain in the ass. So if you have, you know, multiple children and one of them's freaking out and having a meltdown, you're trying to load the groceries, you know, and you're just trying to get home, like maybe it's not the issue with the kids or the issue of taking it back. Maybe it's that person just is having a freaking mental breakdown.
One more thing I cannot
and they just
do
cannot deal
one
with.
more thing.
No, but that was not the case with this mom. She
Oh,
does it every
she
time.
does it consistently.
Yes.
Right.
It wasn't
like I
like
said, extenuating circumstances
no,
are
this
fine.
is like she blatantly is like, I'm not going to do this. And I think you people are ridiculous
for doing it.
for doing it and making it like this big thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can also see her point of like, well, they have people for that.
That's what she was saying.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So entitled.
It is.
Oh my God. What is this world?
Have you seen the
coming to?
people that do that? They are like the most broken, the most dragged, like of,
Dude.
I mean, I
That bring the carts in?
yeah, I feel
Yes.
so bad for
It's
them.
probably, and
It's so heavy.
you know what breaks my heart?
Mm.
Is sometimes I've seen people out there at Target, especially,
Mhm.
that will have like, I don't want to say it to like offend or like I don't want to say it, like mentally disabled
I see.
people. You know, like sometimes there are like checkers or baggers at like King Supers and stuff like that, and I've seen them out there like bringing carts back into the store, and I'm like, no. I mean, but they're happy as can be doing it, but that's just like my heart is
The
just
best
like
I can do is just get it to the point where they pick it up
Right.
consistently, right?
yeah.
Like I don't have to bring it all the way back into the store.
No.
I just got to bring it to the cart return.
yes.
The little area the store created for us outside the store. Right.
We never had those back in the day though. Like when I was growing up as a kid, we didn't have the little cart corrals.
Yeah, you had to walk it all the way back into the store.
Yeah. Or people would like make their own cart corral in between everybody else's cars
Yeah.
in the parking lots.
Yeah. Or they'd fill in that space kind of in the very front, right where the parking lot ends before you cross over
like
the
little
store.
yellow, like weird, like lane, but not lane.
And then like somebody got smart and is like, hey, we should like take a parking spot space up because everybody else is doing it anyways.
Right?
Yeah.
Fuckers. That's so funny. Anyways, guys, that was our rant today.
Thanks for listening to our work chat.
Yeah. You can see why Jessica and I probably got in a lot of trouble together when we worked at the same place. Oopsies. Well, please do not forget to hit that like and subscribe. If you have any funny workplace stories or fridge communal food
What's your
mishaps,
workplace pet peeve?
Workplace pet peeves, anything like that, we would definitely love to hear your stories.
Down
We
in the
will talk
comments.
about them in those comments. We'll talk about your stories or your comments.
Absolutely.
If you share with us. I would love to hear people's stories on workplace stuff. That would be so fun.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because everybody's working somewhere.
Oh,
right?
yes. And they all have stories
All do.
everywhere. Anyways, please tune in next week. We will see you then.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Girl, did you hear?
Nah, girl, what?